Okay, so I want to do a video here about the Squarebill crankbait, and very specifically my two favorite little crankbaits. And those are going to be the Bomber Square A and the Storm Arashi. Now, they're a little bit different, obviously, but why are they my favorite crankbaits? Well, let's go real quickly here. The Bomber Square A is old school. It is one of those baits that just runs straight because of that lip there. It runs flat out straight and does not hunt a lot. This also does a similar thing. The reason I like that is not because I don't want my baits to hunt, but it's because in the cover and the water that I'm throwing them in, they're going to bounce off things, and that's going to make them go off to the side and then come straight back. And I can reel them as quickly as I want to, and they still go straight. So they'll bounce off of rocks really fast, they'll just kick out really fast and come back, but they'll still just run straight. They have a huge wide wobble because of their shape. They're very fat, I guess you could say. They really just attract a lot of fish because of that wobble. Now the Square A has rattles. They made this with a rattle, and then they stopped making it with a rattle. I actually like it without the rattle. It's just a bigger bait. It has a lot more presence in the water. A triangular shaped bill, but it does have these little, it's a coffin shaped bill, but they're so wide out to the sides that this bangs off of everything, and it just doesn't get stuck as much as other baits. So the Bomber Square A comes in two different sizes. There's a smaller size and a larger size. I don't remember the exact weights. I think this is a 1/4 ounce and maybe 3/8. I don't know. That's what it feels like. They both run about the same depth. This one's going to get a little deeper the more line you have out. And I'm saying they're running about 5 feet, but you can actually get them both down to 6 feet with a thinner diameter line. And you can keep them up in the water if you have a thicker diameter line. Like, I've thrown them on 20-pound mono, and they stay in that 2 to 3 foot range pretty good. So you can burn them back to you really fast, cover a lot of water, a lot of skinny water. They're great for fall fishing when the fish are way back up in the creeks. But sometimes I really want a bait that's just a little bit bigger than either one of these two. But before I move on to that, let me say one thing about this little guy. You can throw that on a bait caster. You can throw it pretty decent, 30, 40 yards if you're good on a bait caster. And it works really, really good at catching fish. You can catch pretty decent sized fish on that tiny little crankbait right there. When you want something bigger, this is obviously a bigger bait. They don't make a Bomber Square bill in this size. They do make other bomber baits that are that size, and they're very good baits, but this is so similar. It's fat. It's got that really wide wobble. It has a triangular shaped bill on it. It does not have the little coffin bill things, but it does have a very big bill on it. Now, you will notice something interesting about this bait is these hooks are a little bit bigger than normal. Usually they put one size smaller hooks on this size crankbait. And the reason they are is because these line ties are sideways. Like you can see these line ties, they're all straight up and down, perpendicular to the bait, and these are not. And that allows you to get that hook to sit really, really flat. Okay, the main difference in this crankbait and other crankbaits of its size, the circuit board bill, it's pretty thin and it's wide. It bounces off of everything. The line tie, the self-righting line tie, you can see that actually moves. It self-rights, so this bait runs straight and true. And then of course that hook hanger. So these baits are pretty freaking awesome. And again, you can burn this thing straight back to you. This one gets down there 5-6 feet. The longer you cast it, the deeper it's going to go. A lot of times I'm making really short casts and bringing this back to me, and it's brushing the top of trees and brush on a bank, either in a creek or in the river or wherever. Same with these, and these will come through brush and rock and even really big logs and wood tremendously. Grass and algae, they get stuck in, obviously. That's their enemy. But if you're fishing any place with logs or trees or brush and you're just ticking the tops of them, or you want to go directly through them, you can use these baits. But basically, these go through, they're like four-wheel drives. They're awesome. But these are shallow water baits. They are not going to run deep, obviously. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in these suckers on and fish with them in a local pond here real quick and see if I can catch anything. I'm running out of daylight, so it's probably not going to be very long, but I just wanted to actually show them kind of working, basically. You can use these suckers all year long. They work fantastic in the spring and fantastic in the fall, but you can catch fish in the summertime up shallow. If you're in the shallows and you're not cranking, you gotta be. If you're not catching anything on soft plastics, if you're throwing a jig and then dragging around and not catching anything, put that trolling motor on high and run with these suckers. And you don't even have to put it on high, medium, and run down the bank throwing these things, and you will get bit. I do like a bait that does hunt. It kind of blows out to the left and the right and then comes back to center. But those are a little bit more difficult to fish sometimes, because if you don't let them come back to center, they'll just roll over on you and keep rolling. They spin. So getting the right cadence for those is just a little bit more in depth. These I can burn as fast as I want and they're not going to blow out. They're going to go straight, and I like that. I like speed. Speed kills. Ask an archer. This is going to happen every single cast. This is line and hook. Hopefully that doesn't happen every single cast. I'm really just kind of testing this reel out. Ooh, and I just saw a fish jump down there by the ducks. Of course. It's not bad. You can really feel that too. It's the braid. And I can really bounce it off the rocks. That's the mono leader. Which is why you tie a mono leader with braid. When it gets stuck, you can bounce it back off of there just like you would if you had mono. Don't get mono. It sucks. You're indoors for like a week, a month. Oh wait, you're talking about monofilament. I'm just kidding. Man, legit every cast. There we go. Nice. See if you can see him jump when he jumps. There we go. Decent little fish. Don't fall there. That's the sewer. And this is why we crank. Very nice. For this little pond, pretty decent bass. He's probably close to a little under 2 pounds. On the Arashi Squarebill. That's why I love throwing a Squarebill. Alright. See if I can say goodbye, buddy. Alright, this is a buzzbait that I made myself. And I just scared a fish. 'Cause I'm an idiot. Okay, so I just finished fishing here. It's super dark. It's 8:40. And I basically didn't catch anything on top water because the buzzbait that I made with the frog on it would not turn over correctly. It was just going crooked the whole time. And by that I mean the frog was like this instead of straight in the water. So I have a little bit of adjusting to do with that. Different blade, I have no idea. But all the other buzzbaits, if I put a skirt on it, it would run like awesome. But for now, I am just going to get the heck home because it's pretty dark and you're not supposed to be here after dark. Alright, bye. So I know I keep saying I'm going to tie up some bladed jigs and throw them against the Z-Man Chatterbait and kind of see a little bit of a difference there. But I already have that video here, how to tie them. So I'm going to link that down in the description. And then very soon, when I am able to, there's a lake that I want to go to that's about 2.5 hours away. And there's a lot of grass in there. There's no grass around here. I'd just be throwing it against rock and wood. So I really like throwing them in grass. And I'd like you guys to see that. So I'm going to go ahead and wait to do that. But I'll probably do it fairly soon. Even though fall is not 100% my favorite time to throw them, they do work in the fall. Especially this white one that I tie, it looks like shad, it's awesome. So we'll get into that soon, and we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.